Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Onyechi Evangeline Choma, and in today's tutorials I'll be showing you how to make a princess dart bustier. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the tutorials. I have this measurements already drafted out, so you can go ahead and measure your clients. These are the vertical lines I have from this is my shoulder line, this is my chest line, this is my bust line, bust point, my under bust line, my waist line, and my full length. So you can go ahead and measure your client. So for my shoulder, I'm using shoulder of 14 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2. After the division, I have 7 inches. So I'm going to come down to my chest line and mark the same 7 inches. Next is that from this 7 inches, I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. Then for my neck width, I'm using neck width of 3 inches and neck depth of 4 inches. So I'm going to connect this shoulder slope. Then after that, I'm going to join this to this line, to my chest line. Then after connecting it to my chest line, the next thing is that I'm going to divide my bust measurements by 4. I'm using bust 36. Divided by 4, I have 9 inches. So I'm going to mark 9 inches down there. Then I'm going to locate the midpoint of this shoulder, my armhole depth. So I'm dividing by 2. This is what I have. So from there, I'm going to come out by half an inch. Then connect the points together. I'm going to connect this to this and to this. So this becomes my new armhole depth, my new armhole line for the front part. So for the neck width, I'm going to just connect this point to this point in order to form my neck width. So next thing I'm going to do is to insert my dart measurement, and I'm using that of 7 inches. Divided by 2 is 3.5. You can go ahead and measure your bust point from one nipple to the other. Okay, then if you are not able to do that, you can go ahead and divide your bust circumference by 8 and deduct 1 inch from it. Once you do that, you have your that measurement. Okay, so I have 3 inches here. Then for my under bust, I'm going to deduct half inch from what I have here. So at the under bust point, I'm going to be recording 3 inches instead of 3.5 inch we have here. Same to the waistline, I'm going to record 3 inches on the waistline. Then on the full length, I'm going to record the same thing, 3 inches. Then I'm going to connect the 3 dots together. Then I'm going to connect it to this bust point. So after that, from this point, I'm going to come up by half an inch. Then connect it to my bust point. So once I'm done with that, for my under bust, I'm going to come in here by 2 inches. For my bust tightening, for my waist, I'm going to come out by 2 inches. Then for the full length, 2 inches. Then I'm going to connect. So after that, I'm going to use a very nice curve and connect this point to my bust point. Okay, a very nice curve so that it won't be pointed. Okay. So I think this curve is okay. So from here, we went up by half an inch. So I'm going to measure 2 inches from this point where we have where we went up by half an inch. So I'm going to come down by 2 inches starting from this line. So I'm coming down by 2 inches. So after coming down by 2 inches, the next thing I'm going to do is to connect it to my bust point. Now after that, I'm going to go up here by 2 inches in order to make the side piece equivalent to the center piece when sewing. If not, you have a shorter side piece after sewing. So this 2 inch we took out from here, we are replacing it here. So I'm going to go ahead and join it to the line. Then after that, I'm going to make a new armhole curve. So this becomes my new armhole curve. So next thing I'm going to do is to insert my measurements. So I'm using 9 inches for my chest measurements. This is my chest measurement, 9 inches. Then I'm going to add ½ inch that we took for that over here. So this is my armhole. Okay, so after that, for my underbust, I'm using 27 inches for my waist. So this is my waistline. I'm using 27 inches, and when divided by 4, I have 7 inches. So this is my 7 inches. Then I'm going to add these 2 inches that we are taking out for that over to this place. Then for my full length, the full length of the blouse I'm making, the circumference of my tummy is about 32 inches, and when divided by 4, I should have 8.5, or rather 8 inches. I'm sorry, 8 inches. Then you add this 2 inches back to it. So after that, I'm going to connect the lines together. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cut out what we have here. So this is the back parts that I'm working with. I have my shoulder line, I have my chest line, I have my waistline. Then this is the full length that I'm working with. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the tutorials. So I'm going to insert my shoulder measurement. This is the zipper allowance. So I'm going to get my shoulder measurement divided by 2. That is 7 inches. Then I'm coming down by 1 inch, just like we did for the front piece. Then for the neck width, I'm using neck width of 3 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and connect these points together for my shoulder slant. Then I'm going to also measure my shoulder on my chest line. Then I'm going to roll a straight line connecting the shoulder slant to my chest line. Once that is done, I'm going to take my bust measurement on my shoulder, which is 9 inches. 9 inches. Then I'm going to make a curve there. Okay, so this curve is okay. For my depth, I'm making use of 1.5 inch for my back depth. This is 1.5. This is 1.5. It depends on how you want the back to look like. I prefer going through this method. It's really very helpful to me. Okay, so this is the curve that I want. Then the next thing is to determine my bust measurement, my that measurement. I'm using 3.5 all the way down. That's my bust circumference divided by 8 minus 1 inch. So what I'm going to do now is to connect these lines together for my dart. So from my waist, I'm going to take it by ½ inch. I'm using 1 inch for the back, ½ inch on both sides. Then I'm going to connect to this point, then connect to my chest. So So I'm going to come from this waistline, from this zipper allowance, I'm going to come in. Alright, so on this my waistline, I'm coming in by 1 inch from this my zipper allowance by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it to this my full length. Then connect it also to this my chest line. So it will help eradicate the bulge at the zipper side. You can make a curve here so that it won't be pointed. Okay, so after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to insert my measurements. So I already have my bust measurement here. Then for my waist, I'm working with the waist of 28 inches, which is 7 inches divided by 4. Then I have total of 1 inch for my dart. I'm going to replace it. That's 8 inches. Then for my full length, I'm working with full length of 32 inches divided by 4 is 8 inches. So I'm going to connect the lines together. So I can go ahead and cut out the excess, and I'll show you how it looks like. So this is how my pattern looks for the front and the back part. So for this, I'm going to be adding 2 inches allowance on my fabric. Then at this center piece, I'm going to add ½ inch for joining. Then on this side, I'm not going to add any allowance here because it's going to be on fold. Then by this side, I'm going to also add like ½ inch of an allowance. Then for the zipper, the same thing. I'm not going to add, I'm going to add ½ an inch on this side for joining. Then on this side, I'm going to add 2 inches of allowance here. So that